Hey, what's going on, Facebook Live family? Happy Thursday. I hope you all are doing well. I'm going to make this real quick and simple. I just finished this video up on Periscope, and I wanted to come on here and drop the same knowledge real quick. So look, if you all are catching the replay to this, make sure you share it, help somebody else out. You never know who can need it, right? But today we covered this whole concept of being able to make sure you check yourself before your next level takes off. And this is very important for many of us because I truly believe that many of us are transitioning into better spaces. Life is happening, things are changing, which is always a great thing. But unfortunately, a lot of times, man, look, we take a little bit too much of the strife. We take a little bit too much of the hurt and pain from our past. We take too much from the history, and we allow it to shift over into the new season with us. We allow it to come over into the new space. And as we do that, man, there are a few things that happen. So look, I'm all for the blow up. I'm all for us taking off. But at the same time, we've got to make sure that we're checking ourselves when it comes to our attitude, our character, and our motives, right? So look, a few things I want to put out here to you all real quick, and I promise I'm going to be out your way. Look, I get the fact that you felt slighted in so many ways, right? You felt like people have overlooked you. You feel, look, you've put in so much hard work and effort, and this is in every area of your life, right? Whether this is on the side of just becoming a better you, mentally and emotionally becoming better, your relationship, your friendships with people, man, even career stuff, right? Whatever it might be, this is for all of that. We get ready to transition in so many areas, and it's easy for us to feel slighted. It's easy, look, for us to make we keep a mental note, literally, of everybody who's overlooked us. We keep a mental note of everybody who saw us struggling. We keep a mental note. Look, folks saw you starving, and look, and while they saw you starving, they said nothing, they did nothing. You felt like they just looked in the background, and look, all they did was try to see what you were gonna do, right? Oh, it's not my problem, I don't care. And these are a few of the things that cause us to feel slighted. So what happens as we continue to work hard through the struggle? What happens as we continue to work hard in all of these different areas, and then we finally take off? We finally start to blow up, right? Our lives literally transition in a moment. We change in an instant. And what happens then, right? There are a few things that I need to put out here. So 3 things that can potentially happen as you get ready to take off, or as you take off, guys, and as you shift in platform, as you grow, as you start to glow, whatever it might be, there are a few things that can happen, and I need you to be mindful. Look, first and foremost, you can start to produce ineffective gifts. You can start to produce ineffective gifts, and you can start to produce ineffective fruits. That's what I was trying to say as well, right? These fruits and these gifts that you give off to other people can become very, very ineffective. Good morning, Mario. Good morning, Jocelyn. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I asked a few on here. Make sure you share this, man. Look, help somebody else out this morning. One of the things that we've got to be very, very mindful of and very careful in doing is not allowing our gift and this, look, come on, what's supposed to be good, what's supposed to be positive, what's supposed to help somebody else. Look, if you walk and transition into the next season with that hurt and that pain, with that, look, that feeling of being slighted for so long, if you allow that thing to carry over into the next season with you, you not only become ineffective, but your gift, the thing that you're supposed to give out, the fruit that you're supposed to bear to be able to help somebody else, it becomes ineffective. It becomes tainted. Why is that? My second point, blessing others will start to feel like a burden. Come on, stay with me. What was originally supposed to be easy breezy, what was originally supposed to be a blessing, now feels more and more like a burden. Why? Because you're reminded of every time that somebody could have blessed you. You're reminded of every time that you felt like somebody should have poured into you. And now you don't want to do the same thing for somebody else. What should be a blessing is now a burden. And guys, we've got to be very careful and very mindful of our mental and emotional state as we transition and move into these new spaces. Why? Because you don't want something that was meant for good to turn into something bad simply because you didn't know how to deal with the feelings. You didn't know how to deal with the hurt. You didn't know how to deal with the pain early on. So now you're carrying that weight. Look, you finally taken off. You're on you're on your new level. You're getting money like you weren't getting it before. Life has changed for you. You got the love that you got. And what happens? You literally become a different person, right? Look, I love Kanye's wait till was it Can't Tell Me Nothing song. It's kind of like that, right? You finally get to that space and it's like, wait till I get my money right, then you can't tell me nothing, right? The people who are supposed to be able to pour into you can't pour into you because you've gotten so big-headed, right? Because you've allowed everything that has taken place in your life to fuel this fire, and what's being fueled right now is not character. It's not good character, at least. And so what am I saying? You've got to be very careful because of the fact that, look, you don't want blessing people, and the blessing that you're supposed to be is not supposed to feel like a burden. It's not supposed to be a hassle. It's not supposed to be a drag. Third, what else can happen? You run the risk of your continued elevation and blessings being cut off early. And this is something that we do to ourselves, right? One of the things that we've got to be very in tune with is the fact that when we allow our attitude to start changing, when we allow our mindset to start changing, when we allow our attitudes towards people to start changing, when we get to that you can't tell me nothing type of mode, when we get into this mode of being fueled by the negative feelings, right? By all of these things that have happened to us, when we get fueled by the hurt and pain, we will literally start to run off of that. What was once a mindset now becomes a lifestyle. And when we get into this lifestyle of cutting people off, right? Because we're so quick to cut everybody off. We so quick to get caught up in our feelings. We so quick to get mad. It's easy for us to feel slighted by any and everybody now, right? We've become so sensitive in certain areas, right? And I get it. Like I said, I'm not taking away from it because it's an area that's meaningful to you. A lot of it is connected to your heart. It's connected to your mind. But what am I saying, though? You cannot allow the fact that these things are connected to you to start predicating how you live your life, to start controlling all of these negative factors that come when it comes to the hurt you've dealt with, right? And so, look, 3 things that we've got to do in order to make sure that we're not cutting our blessing and our elevation off, our continued elevation off after we actually get to the platform, after we actually blow up, after we actually get to the next level. 3 things that we got to do. First and foremost, you have to address the hurt and the pain, but you also have to be able to release it. Look, I am literally telling you, yes, acknowledge the fact that you've been hurt. During your process, you felt slighted. During your process, you felt like you were overlooked. During your process, you felt like people didn't care. You were doing so much, you felt like you were starving from time and time again. You literally felt like, look, nobody cares about me. I'm out here by myself and I'm struggling. Day to day, I'm trying to survive and nobody seems to care. No, hey, look, they're overlooking your brand. They're overlooking your product. They're overlooking everything that you're doing. And what you're doing is so beneficial to so many people, right? And in that space of feeling like you've been overlooked, in that position of feeling like nobody cares, what starts to happen, right? You hold on to that pain, you harbor that pain, and you start to hoard that pain. So you're not releasing it as you transition into the next season. So many times we allow the hurt from times past to carry over. And this is why the blessing gets cut off, because we can't look. It's hard for us to literally cut the lifeline from everything that happened in the last season. It's hard for us to let the hurt and the pain go because we have a constant video reel playing in our mind of every negative situation, of every look. We're tormented by the negative instances. We're tormented by what people said. We're tormented by what people did. And so many times we find ourselves struggling and we're not able to transition effectively into the next space because our character was tainted once we got hurt. So what am I saying, guys? We've got to be very mindful to release the pain, not carry it and take it over as you transition. My second point, you've got to learn from the actions of others without becoming those actions. So many times, man, listen. Look, we start to treat individuals the way that we were treated. Once we get to the platform, once we transition, once our lives change, we literally sometimes can allow, because of our character being so jacked up from the process, because of our character being hurt, because of our feelings and our emotions constantly being tangled in and out, we can literally put ourselves in a position where we become the actions of those who hurt us. We become become the actions of those who said things to us, of those who slighted us. We literally become the same hurt and pain that was put here when we were going through. So what am I saying, guys? You've got to be able to release it so that you don't become the same thing that hurt you, so that you don't become the same thing that tried to take you out, right? Because in that space, this is where the gifts become ineffective. Like I said earlier in this video, this is where the gifts start to become very ineffective. This is when you can't flow and function the way that you were supposed to, the way that you were meant to, because you've gotten so caught up on being just like the people, the person that hurt you. You start to do things literally in the same light. Why? Because you've got this ego, you've got this pride, and it's being fueled by the hurt and the pain from the past. It's being fueled by everything that took place in your life before you transitioned and actually started to take off. And then finally, guys, look, you've got to become the champion for the underdogs, by literally taking the blessing that is your platform and helping other people within it, right? Many times, like I said, it's very easy for us to hoard our blessings. It's very easy for us to hoard our gifts and to try and hold everything in, right? And what am I saying? You've got to be able, the same way that you release the hurt and the pain, you've got to be able to release the space that you're in as well. You've got to utilize what you have to be able to help other people. And why is this so important? Because a lot of times, look, what we don't realize is that we actually cut our own blessing off by trying to keep everything in. And if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So a part of using it is being able to help those others who will be champions, those underdogs who will eventually be in your shoes, right? And you have such a great gift and such a great opportunity to be the individual that helps them get to that place. You have such a great gift and such a great opportunity to be the person that can help somebody else transition into a better state. You have such a great gift and an opportunity to help the person who's going to end up taking what you did and edifying it and becoming so much better, because that's the goal, right? You don't want people to stay the same. Look, and we've got to get out of this competitive mode and competitive mindset and literally understand. And look, I encourage folks, look, go out and do what I did, but do it better. Go out, be what I am, but be it better. That's the thing, guys. You have put yourself in a space where you are now being blessed because you invested into other people. You invested time. You invested love. You invested your effort into somebody else who's going to go out and take the game and completely edify it from what people knew it as once before, right? I'm a huge wrestling fan. Many of you all know this, right? And not just WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor, WCPW. Like I am a huge wrestling buff. And one of the things that I love when I look at wrestling from the golden era, right, to the attitude era, to ruthless aggression, to where wrestling is now, is that there are certain people who have taken these different eras of wrestling and what we thought was great 20 years ago, what we thought was great 30 years ago with Hogan and Ric Flair, what we thought was great with The Rock and Stone Cold. Like, things continuously change. Athletes come out and they're better and better, but guess what happened though? They were trained and they were taught by the same individuals who had the platform in their prime, right? They were invested into by those who had the platform in their prime. So what am I saying? You literally become the champion for the underdogs when you can take your platform and begin to invest into other people, when you're not motivated and when you're not thrusted and pushed by hurt and pain, but you understand that you don't want people to go through the same thing that you went through. You don't want individuals to feel the same thing that you felt. And now you can be in a space where you are massively productive because you have literally given life off to those around you. So what am I saying today, guys? Look, check your emotions, check your motives. Check yourself. You always hear me talk about this whole between the dream concept. And, I tell you, between the dream isn't just the title of my books. It's a way of life, right? Between the dream, the point between your present moment and your promise is your process. In the process, character is built. In the process, we find out who we are. And in the process, we have the choice on what kind of character is built. Is it character traits that will give off good things? Or is it character flaws that can literally taint ourselves and then taint those around us? And this is what we've got to be mindful of. What is the willing choice that you're going to make when it comes to the character that you allow to be, driven through you? So with that being said, guys, today, look, make sure you're checking yourself. Yes, the next season is coming. You are literally about to glow up. Things are about to change for you at such a rapid pace. But with that being the case, how do you respond? Do you become the hurt and pain that was once given to you when you were in your struggle? Or do you rise above and do you become everything that you need to be, not only for yourself, but that God needs you to be for everybody else around you? I love you all. I want to see you win. Don't forget, you can go to Unashamed Nation. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. No, you can go to richardtaylorjr.com and get copies of all of my books. I love you all, man. I pray you all have a great day. Go out here and be the change and be the hope for somebody else. Peace.